Yeah, let me share with you how I see the future of mortgage advisor now, or financial advisor. We've been calling ourselves for years financial consultants, financial advisors, financial executives, wealth planning consultants, wealth planners. There's lots of different names for what we do. We end up giving advice, don't we? We try and make ourselves become like lawyers or accountants where people pay for advice, and that's totally cool. That's the way it should be. However, this changed, my mind changed a number of years ago now, and I want to share with you how that changed, because we're known as advisors, we're known as consultants. Here we are, consultants. We're known as executives, consultants. We're known as planners. There's lots of different things where we end up telling clients what they need to do. And that's great because people pay you a fee, so you need to tell them what to do effectively. This changed a number of years ago. I was actually on a plane to Moscow. This was in 2012, when we were just coming out of the financial crash in this country. So I was doing a lot of work abroad, and I was doing work for an insurance company, or a bank in Moscow. Freezing cold it was, this February time. And I remember catching the plane home again when we finished the training. And I got this taxi from the Central Hotel, which was next to Red Square, I think it was. And the taxi took me all the way down the freeway to the airport. And it was amazing because along the freeway were these Soviet-style or era apartment blocks, which were great big apartment blocks for hundreds, thousands of people who lived there. But every block looked like the next one. It had been designed by the same architect, and that's what they did, the Soviets. They just built dozens of these things, all the same methodology, the same design. And underneath each one was a tube station stop. Can you imagine that? So your own apartment, you get up, go downstairs, and there's the tube station that takes you into town. So crazy, but it worked really well. Anyway, I was at the airport waiting to catch my plane, and I was sitting down charging up my laptop, and this lady sat next to me, and we just got talking as you do. And she said to me, "What do I do?" And I told her, and I said, "What do you do?" She said, "I'm a coach." She said to me, "I'm a coach." And I said, "Well, that's interesting." I said, "Because I do coaching because I do." She said, "I thought, well, maybe it's what I do." She said, "No, I'm a coach. I coach people how to financially plan their future." Oh, wow, that's cool. She told me that she was a regulated financial advisor. She was from the States, and she was a coach. She coached people, and I asked her how she did that. She said, "Well, I ask them, I ask questions, I find out about them, and I therefore guide them into the financial advice that they need. I don't tell them what to do, but I guide them. I get them to figure it out themselves," she said. "By asking questions, I get them to figure out their future and what their options are and what options they'd like. Therefore, I get complete buy-in to the solutions I come up with." And I thought that's a really, really cool thing to do. So rather than being a advisor or somebody who tells people what they should have, which is great, don't get me wrong, we need to turn ourselves around, become a coach. You could call yourself a mortgage coach, or a home buying coach. It's probably a better one, isn't it? Or a home buyer advisor coach or consultant, call it what you like, or just a mortgage coach, it's fine. Or just stick with mortgage advisor if that's what your compliance people want you to be called. But regard yourself as a coach. Change the way you operate. Start to ask more questions of the client. Try and start to kind of guide them to solutions rather than just do an automated fact find and then tell them what they need, and then do a suitability letter to prove what they need. It's great, but computers will do that in the future. Bots will do that, humans won't. Now, if you're going to start coaching, you need a coaching model or coaching process or sequence. There's a number going around there. Cigar is a favourite one of mine, which I've taught before. Grow is a big one when it comes to being a coach. I use Grow when I coach people. These are just sequences of how you coach. That's all it is. It's just like a process that you go through. They both work in a similar manner, really, because the Grow one starts off with a goal, and the Cigar starts off with the current situation and the ideal situation. So you find out what the client's currently got and what ideally they want. That's it. Whereas the goal, of course, is where the client wants to get to. So, I don't know, say for example, you're doing financial advising, you might want to find out when the client wants to retire, and it could be a goal that they have in their life is to retire financially. happily and contentedly when they reach age 60 or 65. That's the goal. Whereas here you can find out the same thing, find out their current situation and their ideal situation. So it's the same sort of concept really. The G here stands for gap. So what you're doing is you're finding out what they've currently got, what they ideally need, and where the gap is. And then of course the client needs to take action in order to achieve their goals. So it could well be, for example, that they are looking to invest some money and get a great return, whatever it is. Currently they're investing here. Ideally they want to get this kind of return, so the gap really is where they're investing. So that's what you explore. The action is maybe move their investments to another methodology. It could be some life assurance and protection. Currently they've got very little life assurance protection and a couple of kids. Ideally they want to have some protection. So there's a big gap, what we call the protection gap. That's one to think about, isn't it? So of course the action then is to take out some protection, which of course we can then advise them to do. Now the R is to review. Good mortgage coaches or financial coaches will review the client's situation on a periodic basis. You should do the same. Even if you're a mortgage advisor, the fact is you're going to help the client with their mortgage needs all throughout their future. So build into the plan that every year you'll review it. Every year you'll have a 20-minute Zoom call just to catch up where they are. See if they've got the right mortgage now, might want to remortgage, but are they thinking of moving or maybe buying a second home or whatever it is? You need to give them ongoing advice. Don't charge them for that. Well, you can do, of course you can charge, but don't do an ongoing management fee. That's another issue. But you certainly charge them a fee and maybe a retainer, because you charge them a fee to retain them as one of your clients. You know, if you really do have pride in what you do, why not? There's nothing wrong with that at all. A lot of people do it. So that's the cigar one. The grow one's similar. So what's the current goal of the client? What's their current reality? In other words, where are they now? So that's very much the current there. Just switch this one around. Right? So what's their goal? Where are they now? What are the options available for them to achieve their goal? And then the last one, the will. What are they going to do? What's their action plan effectively in order to achieve that? So they're very similar really. But that's how you coach. As a coach, you find out what they want to get, what they want to achieve. You find out what they're doing so far. You talk about the various options available. You let them take action, and then you review the action later. And you do it with financial planning. So I remember that moment in Moscow. It was very, very cold out there. The sidewalks were just swept up with snow. Just weeks and weeks of snow, about sort of 4 or 5 feet high. Just wasn't going to budge until the spring. Crazy place, really. Lovely people, really hard-working individuals. I'd like to go back there again one day, but I think we'll be doing this all online, won't we, moving forward, rather than jumping on aeroplanes. I wonder if that model's gone. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, enough of that. How to be a coach. See you soon.